Hello, hello, and welcome to the Winner's Circle Wake Up Call. For those of you who may not know me already, I am Yvonne Nobles, woman's success coach with a focus on both mindset and heart set. And my mission is to help women everywhere stop hiding, stop feeling invisible, and instead be seen, heard, cherished, and celebrated. So I did promise that everyone in attendance, and if you weren't able to make it, perhaps you're catching this on the replay, would get insight on three very, very important subjects. Number one, how can you know your inner war and master the strategies that are necessary to help you win, especially when it feels like it's a losing or a downhill battle? Number two, how do we build up our energy reserves so we can avoid running on E? Of course, we want to stay away from burnout. And lastly, number three, how to rapidly level up to become a more confident, expansive version of you. So let's dive right in. We're first going to talk a little bit about what's essential to win the war that's happening in our minds. Have you ever noticed when you make a decision to reach a goal, it immediately becomes the most difficult thing to do? Suddenly, all these emotions and the fear and all these questions pop up. Perhaps there's avoidance where you know that you had a certain date in mind, but you keep pushing that date out or putting it off till tomorrow. Maybe there's confusion and you're not quite sure how to go about doing all the things that can make that dream a reality. What about overwhelm? Do you start thinking, okay, I've got my list, I've got my plan, and I don't see light at the end of the tunnel? It's just way too much involved in getting to this outcome. Or maybe you have some doubt. There's just a possibility that what if you can't do it? What if you're not enough? And another big hurdle is disappointment. Maybe you have tried to reach big goals and you fell far short of your ultimate outcome. Well, all these things I just described, avoidance, confusion, overwhelm, doubt, disappointment, these are all actually small facets or prisms of fear. And who of us hasn't been in a situation where fear kicks in and keeps us small? Now, here's a very important question for you. Which do you think is more important, inner beauty or outer beauty? Age-old debate, right? And I'm not going to pretend that attraction isn't elicited by how we look on the outside. But what would others see if you were flipped inside out? What are you feeling? What emotions are you carrying? What thoughts weigh you down from reaching the thing that you know you are capable of and more? I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going back well over 20 years, and it seemed like I was on top of the world, right? I was in the best shape of my life. I just moved into my dream home months prior. Sunshine and birds singing every day, right? Well, what people didn't know was that my partner at the time had just shared an ugly secret. He confided that he was a closet drug addict. My world literally had come crashing down. There were moments where I felt my sanity slipping, and there was a lot of blaming myself. Like, how didn't I see that while we were dating? How do you go 3 months into a marriage and find out news like this? How could I be so blind? And the lessons that life handed me with the support of family and, a lot of mentors, we are not responsible for the behavior or the choices that others around us may make. Each of us, in a sense, have to carry our own load. But the good news is it is never too late to choose you. There is always a way up and a way out, even when things appear to be hopeless. And that's so significant, I think it bears repeating. Even when it seems there is nowhere to go, there is always a way up and a way out. So what I'm going to provide you with today are a few of the vital keys that are necessary to doing just that. Oftentimes, when we're little girls, we're handed the story that we're helpless damsels in distress, right? We're sitting in the dungeon and the dragon standing guard, and we're waiting for the prince to come and rescue us. Well, the good news is that actually we're already holding the keys. The element that can keep us trapped is if we don't choose to use them. So key number one is to never give up. Mindset must be developed, honed, strengthened like a muscle. You must be convinced that you are in this to win. And also have an awareness that the only way you lose is if you quit. A second key is to stop looking over your shoulder. What do I mean by that? Well, blinders on, looking straight ahead, focused on the goal that you're out to achieve is essential. If we look over our shoulder, that limits not just the capability to get where we're going, because we can't see where we're going, but the amount of time that's involved. We end up going off the path, so to speak. And remember, time only moves in one direction. We can't go back. But we do have the power to keep in mind that what we do right now is creating tomorrow. That what we do in this moment can make a difference for years to come. So we really have to become expert warriors and get better at fighting the guilt and the shame over choices that we made in the past. Stop letting them hang over us like storm clouds. We have to lose the I wish I would have and instead turn that into I know I will. A second key point that we wanted to cover today was about building up our energy reserves. And you'll notice the way it was phrased was the intent is to avoid running on E. For those of you who drive fuel cars as opposed to electric still, you already know that fuel efficiency is very, very dependent on how full the tank is to begin with. You know, if you let it go down to E, then the long-term life of the car is going to be compromised. But if you never let the needle go below half, you find that the gas actually goes much further. And who of us with these current gas prices is looking for a way to make sure that we can circumvent running out of gas? Well, the same goes with our lives. If we want to avoid burnout, we can't let our proverbial needle get to E. And many of you are probably responsible for lifting up and supporting those that depend on you, whether that's in a job situation, perhaps in your personal life as a mother or a wife. There are people that are looking up to you, that depend on you, and you know it's impossible to pour from an empty cup. So, curious to know, what are some of the things that you do for self-care? How do you refuel, so to speak, when you feel like your reserves are getting a little low? Some that have been shared with me by my clients are day at the spa, right? That's always amazing. Get a nice massage, nails done, hair done. What about going on a date with a loved one or a new friend? A nice dinner. Food is amazing, and it always tastes better when you're in a happy, energetic state. Maybe it's a day at the beach, reading your favorite book, listening to music, dancing, a vacation that you dreamed about, or just plain old relaxing. All of these pieces are essential. You have to make sure that it's something that you love to do, because that's going to help you flip away and avoid burnout and instead get re-energized. I always say that our energy is like a pie, and you only have so much throughout the course of the day. So we also have to be mindful of where we're spending the pie. Where are we placing our energy? We want to maximize it by putting it on the things that are going to, in a sense, help us fuel up even more. Got another story for you. So this was not even fully a year ago. I was on a cruise that I'd manifested from 3 years prior, determined to go on this new ship that was in the build. And I said to my hubby, we're going to be on that ship. We're going to be in a suite. And granted, took a few years, but it happened. And while I'm away for those 7 days, it allowed me to completely reset. I was able to write a book with the ocean as my background noise. I'd go out on that balcony and listen to nature's call. And the irony is, on that cruise, we saw a vocalist perform. And I knew I'd have an opportunity to meet her. Well, wouldn't you know that just 3 months later, we returned to the same cruise line, different ship, and I was able to gift her an autographed copy of that book. So for those of you who've cruised, you know that there are literally thousands of people on a ship at any given time. But to meet and befriend and even have her agree to an interview, you can literally make anything happen as long as you keep up the energy. We're going to segue into our final point for today. Rapidly leveling up to become a more confident, expansive version of you. Who of us doesn't want to be the biggest, baddest version every day? What changes for you if you're able to be at peak? Well, the problem is that awareness alone is never enough. All of us know that we have problems, we have issues, we have hurdles to work through, but just identifying that problem doesn't give us the solution in and of itself, right? Maybe we know that we're lonely, or perhaps we're limited on finances. Maybe there's roadblocks that just seem to keep standing in our way as barriers to getting through to those goals. Even if we consciously change our thinking, if that's all we did, well, the actual situation wouldn't change. Nothing changes until we take essential action. Now, the first step above and beyond the dream or the thinking positively for what we're after would be observing ourselves, really getting to know who we are and getting in touch with our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, being in control as far as our actions go. But the next step would be making a choice that moves you towards the life you actually want. You see, everything you want is a choice. And our choices begin with decisions. But did you know that indecision is actually a decision? When we are stuck, we've inadvertently chosen to stay where we are. We've decided not to do the things that are necessary to gain momentum. So if you're ready to break that loop and you're ready to make a change, it's going to be crucial to get essential support. 2 big things come out of this. First, it's a human flaw that we cannot see our own blind spots. It's impossible. Have you ever had the experience that you're eating out at a really nice restaurant? You made the mistake of ordering broccoli and you're telling a joke to your friends or your date, and they kind of let you know there's something in your teeth. It's the worst ever. I've been there many times. But what's intriguing is you need the support, you need the love of those that can help you identify what you need to fix. Because the reality is, we're all faced with different scenarios. We all have questions circling around in our minds and our hearts, and the answers are also there. Eventually, we're going to come across them. But why take 5 years or 10 years when you can condense it down and get it done in months? There's also an element of accountability. Yes, best laid plans, right? You might have an intent to do something big, but you're much more likely to get that done if someone's checking in. If you have to report, this is where I am, this is where I'm going, and this is what I did in the meanwhile. So surrounding ourselves with those who are on a similar path sets us up for success. There's that collective strength in numbers, the energy of being in the room with others that are determined to make waves. And yes, it's true. Sometimes life throws us curveballs, but the hero journey that each of us is on, to be able to learn from each other, to take away what to avoid the pitfalls, so we can get to our final destination faster, there is no price tag we can put on that. So I'm actually going to invite all of you to a private consultation for my current program called Awakening. And the beauty of it is it takes you through pillars of discovering your inner warrior, of really fine-tuning the ability to do next level visualization and grasp the wonder that your life can be, and then making sure that you capitalize on achieving the wealth that is sitting there for you. And I just want to clarify, for some people, that means money in the bank. For others, it's time freedom. For yet others, it could be family or spending time with the people that you love and really building a legacy for your children and your children's children. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place right in the chat a couple of items that are going to be instrumental. And this way you can follow up with me at your convenience. First, you'll find an invitation to schedule a consultation with me. Of course, this is at no obligation or cost, but it's to give you the necessary breakthrough to come up with a plan. Because remember, mindset alone is only part of the equation. We want to get you working towards, moving towards active momentum and achieving, implementing the steps that are just crucial to make your dreams a reality. Also, you're going to see my email address, support@newuow.com. So if you have any additional questions, or let's say you want to dig a little deeper into what you're facing before you commit to a consultation, that's a very easy way to get hold of me and my team, and we'll make sure to follow up with you quickly. Last incentive is I want to share that for any of you who are listening, if you're sitting on the fence, because sometimes we can all use a little nudge, make sure that you take advantage of a fast action bonus. If you mention that you saw or attended this particular micro session, then you will actually qualify for half off. You just have to schedule your consultation within the next 48 hours. So use the code WCWC for Winner's Circle Wake Up Call, and we will be more than happy to accommodate you. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your oh so busy schedule to dig a little deeper into these three factors. Again, mastering the strategies to win your inner war, building up your energy reserves so you don't get burnt out, and making sure that you not only level up, but rapidly level up to become a more confident, expansive version of you. Again, this is Yvonne, Woman's Mindset Coach, and I so look forward to speaking with you at the earliest opportunity. Stay well, take care of those that you love, and remember, once you master your mindset and your heart set, you will literally become unstoppable. Talk to you soon.